Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for the invite, Drunk Sports. Thank you so much for inviting me to the show.
No doubt, appreciate it. Oh, newsletter dropped the other day, and he's talking about the reported deal that Canelo had with PBC that he just or allegedly opted out of. And he said that David was never offered up to Canelo on that contract. The language of the deal was it was various specific fighters with specific price tags and guarantees attached to them, and David was not one of those fighters offered up. Then you're hearing it was Jamel, Jamal, and Errol, and then we all know what happened with Errol, and they wanted to amend it with Terrence and possibly a David. Well, me and Amin was trying to figure out when you said that deal from Canelo was offered to you guys 55, and then the $5 million split with you. What was the timeline on that? Was that from a couple of years ago when Canelo was first negotiating with PBC to come over, or was that recently on
That
this
was
deal that
recently,
they were talking about?
like about I would say like about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, gotcha.
And you know, I mean, you can put up in a contract some fights, but if for some reason the fighters cannot participate for whatever reasons they have, I mean, you got to adjust and move to other fights, you know. And that's the case here with Charlo also. You know, he was supposed to fight first. He was not healthy, and you know, or whatever the reasons are, or whatever mentally or whatever, he was not ready. That's why he fought his brother. His brother was not in the contract, but he did take that fight. You know, I just think that Canelo does not want to face David. You know, he knows that David's strong, hungry, and
Yeah.
more powerful than him at this point. You know, Canelo, with all the respect, you know, he had a lot of fights. He was super disciplined. To do something that Canelo has done in boxing would be really hard for us to do or any other person. But at the end of the day, he has a lot of miles on his body. You know, he had to train and get ready in camps, and that's where he wore himself up. And I believe that the body is not the same. We've seen that 4 fights ago. He's not the same no more. You know, so
Yeah.
they just want to guarantee money to make money, but they don't want to face nobody dangerous. You know, they'd rather instead of taking all that money it was that was proposed to him, you know, he'd rather pay maybe half of that, but make sure that he wins those fights. You know, look at who's trying to fight now. He's trying to fight Munguia. He's trying to fight Berlanga now. I mean, come on, now they're mandatory. Now he's gonna fight. We've been mandatory for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the fight that everyone wants to see: David Benavidez against Canelo. So at the end of the day, you know, I don't think Canelo would ever face David Benavidez. I don't. I think that he knows that it will be the end of his career, and that's
Mm.
why he doesn't want to do it.
And you know, the comparison I've drawn to this for those of us that are old enough to know, um, this reminds me of Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis. And you know, and this is Canelo's way in a lot of ways of throwing the belt in the trash can.
Mm.
He's avoiding the fight with David, you know, and I think that has to be said. And we're all going to be disappointed, you know, but I'm also happy that you guys have chosen to go another route. I was concerned though. David is okay to come back down to 168
Hmm.
because David is a big guy.
Yeah, well, you know, like I told everybody, in his last 5 fights, past 5 fights, he's been under 168, the
Mm.
limit. You know, he has learned from his mistakes. He's
Hmm.
no, he knows his body more. He's super disciplined. He's super focused, and I don't see a problem. He doesn't struggle. But the reason we're going to 175 is because we're just tired, man, of this Canelo thing at 168. You know, there's no other way. You know, and to me, it would be embarrassed to even bring up the name of Mungia or now, you know, Berlanga. You know, I mean, Mungia. I think he proved that he beat Ryder. You know, he looked good. You know, but he's very hittable. You know, I don't think he's getting better. I think he just gets hit a lot. You know, David would destroy him in 5 6 rounds. Mungia, come on, you know, for his last past 6 fights, he's been looking terrible. Now he gets caught. Yeah, who did he beat? A guy that was supposed to beat, you know? You know, everybody knows about that, you know. So now they're trying to make it mandatory. And of course, Canelo's going to take those fights. At the end of the day, I think those fighters are dangerous for Canelo at this point, also, you know. But, you know, like I said, you know, we're here to fight whoever and whoever wants to step in the ring. We just want to make history. Caleb Plant, we gave him everything he wanted. You know, Boo Boo didn't really ask for a lot, you know, but we gave him what he wanted. Munguia, we were willing to give him everything he wanted to, and they turned the fights down. So at the end of the day, you know, they call themselves warriors, the best at 168. But when it comes time to face the Mexican monster, they all disappear.
Were there any other fights